What's up? This Chug. What I want to talk about in this message, you know what I'm saying? For all you so-called black people out there, you hear me? Of my race. Rape is never okay. Black woman, black man. Rape should be avoided at all times. When you as a black man, so-called black man, is around a woman that you finally get to be around with, she done gave you your number and she done gave her her number and everything. Y'all, you gave her your number and everything. You finally get in the room with her. She deny you of sex. She said it's too early. I don't want to do it right now. You take it up on yourself to rape her while she's at home alone. You know, she may got her own house. You hear me? She maybe don't. You know, you don't take upon yourself to rape that woman, to hurt that woman first, or either when she resists sex, when she told you she don't want to do that. You should not do that, especially when harming her within a process. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, you don't want to do that. You know, because that's not a good image on you when you go to jail. You know what I'm saying? When you go to prison for something like that. You know, wherever you go, in whatever incarceration system you go, jail or prison, you don't want that on your book. You know, I don't want that on my book. So-called black man. As a black so-called black man, I wouldn't even want my daughters to get raped. I wouldn't even want my sons to be a part of having that mindset. You know what I'm saying? I want my sons to be a reflection of me. I want my sons to be players, if anything, instead of just being thirsty in that way and trying to take something that's not theirs. When you rape a woman, you taking something that don't belong to you because you just say you can get it. Her vagina, her booty. You know, you taking something that don't belong to you. That's stealing, you know. Especially if it's a virgin. She's saying, I want to wait till I'm getting married to lose my virginity, but you say, fuck that. I want to rape you. I don't care what you do. If you tell somebody, I'm going to kill you. You're wrong. You're a bad guy. Any man that rape a woman is not a good man. Especially if they using force. You know, slapping them, punching them, beating on them to make them woman submit within sex. Real righteous men, we talk to get the vagina. We talk to get sex. We have a mouthpiece game to get sex. Either, I don't care if your mouth, you don't got that good mouthpiece, mouthpiece with a woman. Eventually it'll come. But a good man will never rape a woman under no circumstances, no matter how horny he is, no matter how long he been celibate. A good man, a good righteous, respectful man wouldn't do that because he got respect for women, especially if he a ladies' man. You heard me? A good brother would not do that. You know? One of these rotten brothers would do that. I never have a mindset to do that. No matter how horny or how long I abstain from sexual intercourse with a woman. I can never see myself doing it. You know? And y'all so-called black women, it's the same for you. No matter how long you ain't had no dick, you don't try to take a man's penis out of his pants when he say no. You know, you don't handcuff him to a bed, his legs and hands to is wrist to a bed and suck them off and ride them. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't try to force a man's clothes off to have sex with him. No means no. That goes for you women too. I'm talking to both sex. Y'all so-called black women too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure so-called black women do this out there in the world too. If black men do it, I'm pretty sure black women do it too. It may not be that many, but I'm pretty sure they do stuff like this. So listen clearly, black people. Rape is never okay in our race. You should never stoop down to that stupid level to do such a thing, to that disgusting level to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, it should be consensual. Every sexual intercourse should be consensual within our black race. No man and woman should be raping each other for sex. You heard me? That should come naturally. You gonna get that anyway. There's no need to rape nobody over there. You know, you don't want that on your background. You know, just like being a pedophile, you know, you don't want none of that on your background. You know, it's the same thing. Just like being a pedophile, you don't want none of that on your background. You don't want to be a rapist. You don't want that charge. You don't want that charge to be on your book. So a good woman, look at you and say, "Oh, I don't want to be with you," you know, because you got, you know what I'm saying. You don't want that on your record. You know, if she may look at your background, if she want to look at your back, you don't want that. You don't want a long criminal history, period. You don't want no nasty criminal history, period. You want a clean slate. You want to be like a man like me with no criminal record. You want to live clean. You want to do things the right way. It's so-called black people. You don't want that, you know. You don't want women. You don't want a good man to look at your background and find out you was a rapist. You know, having that felony charge on you. You know what I'm saying? Raping. You know. You don't want that felony on you. You don't want that on you. Trust me. That's not a good look. That's just like being a pedophile as a woman. You know? You don't want that. You don't want to be charged as a rapist. You don't want to be charged as none of that. None of that nasty stuff. You know? Out here. You know? That police be charging people with. You don't want that on your books. You don't want it. I don't want it. So as so-called black people, we should do better than the stuff that we doing already. You know, not just rape, but the stuff that we doing already. The stuff that y'all doing already. You should clean, get your life in order clean. If you was a part of this, you know, it ain't too late. As long as you got a life living, you can change, you know. But it still ain't a good look that you had that on your record from the beginning. If you went to jail for it, or if you got away with it, it ain't good, you know. Whether people know about that or not, that's not a good thing to have on your background, whether it's on papers or not. You know what I'm saying? I regret all the bad things that I've done in the past. You know, the little things. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all should regret bad things that we done in the past. If we get our life and get together and start becoming good, we should be like, oh, this bad, I'm gonna start off good with a clean slate now. We shouldn't bring all those bad things into our existence. We should become a new creature. Just like when you get baptized in a Christian church, that's supposed to symbolize you putting down an old man or woman, and you coming out a new person. You becoming born again like the Christian faith says. You know what I'm saying? We should become born again. You know, believers of doing righteousness instead of believers of doing wickedness. You know what I'm saying? We should stop working for the devil and become God's chosen people. When you become righteous, you becoming God's chosen people, you know, out of the world of darkness. You know what I'm saying? To be righteous, especially if you're a preacher, whatever head of a church, the church, whatever working of the Lord you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? You know, you should be better than that. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? You should be righteous minded. You know, being righteous minded is not having the mind of rape people. You know, as so-called black people. You know, whether you're a black woman, black man, teen, male, female, boy or girl, it's never too good to rape nobody at any age. I don't care if you didn't get caught doing it as a juvenile or an adult. You don't want that background. If you're a good person, if you turn into a good person, you're gonna regret that background. You wish you shouldn't. That's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all do better. If y'all didn't rape somebody, did all that crazy stuff, went to jail for it, became a felon. You know, I hope y'all never do that for the rest of y'all lives. Stay away from that stuff. It's no good for our race. You know, we should be holy people, set apart people. You know, from away from wickedness. You know what I'm saying? As the Christian would say, and the Muslim would say sin. Religious people say sin. You heard me? You know, because I'm gonna stay away from sin, aka wrongdoing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay away from wrongdoing. You hear me? I don't want to be a wrongdoer. I don't want to be a unrighteous person. I'm gonna stay a good person until I die, because I want to make the heaven. And I know I got some good for me at the end. You know what I'm saying? It's waiting on me. You know, I just ain't accomplished my mission yet. You know what I'm saying? I was here. I can't. Everybody that's here for a purpose. You know, and it's either do good or bad. You know, it's either to do good and go to heaven, or do bad and go to hell. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Everybody got a purpose in life. What they gonna do? You know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just chose this way of life to be righteous and preach to my black people. You know, online. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? And on my other channel. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? So y'all be cool. Take it easy.